In today's lesson, you're going to watch a short clip from the movie Chicken Little, listen to a read aloud of the story Chicken Little, and compare it to our anchor text story from this week, Little Rabbit's Tale. You'll notice that all of these stories and clips of the movies are telling just about the same story, but some things are told differently and some are told exactly the same. So in today's lesson, I want you to pay close attention. What parts of the movie clip and stories are the same? What parts are completely different? For today's lesson, I'm going to be reading you a story of Chicken Little. Now, some of you may have heard of this story title before. It's a pretty popular movie now, but we are going to be reading the story version today. You will notice as we read through our story, the story of Chicken Little and Little Rabbit's Tale have a lot of similarities and some differences. Your job is to listen very carefully to this story. I want you to think about the different characters, find out where the story takes place, and see if there is a lesson to be learned in this story. After we finish reading the story, we will go over the yellow highlighted vocabulary words that were included in our story, Chicken Little. So let's get started. One sunny afternoon, Chicken Little was strolling through the forest. All of a sudden, kerplunk! An acorn fell from a tree and onto Chicken Little's chicken head. "Oh dear!" she cried. "The sky must be falling. I should be a good little chicken and tell the king." So Chicken Little set off towards the king's castle. Why did Chicken Little think that the sky was falling? Because an acorn fell on her head. Do you remember in our story, Little Rabbit's Tale, what fell on Rabbit's head? It was an apple. Chicken Little met her friend Henny Penny along the way. Henny Penny was looking in some soft mud for worms to eat. "But Henny Penny," said Chicken Little, "the sky is falling." "Come with me to tell the king." Henny Penny agreed, and the two friends set off towards the king's castle. Soon the friends saw Candy Cow. She was eating grass in a beautiful meadow with her little calf, Cory. "But Candy Cow," said Henny Penny, "the sky is falling. Come with us to tell the king." Candy Cow agreed, and she set off with her friends and her little calf towards the king's castle. Next the friends saw Lucky Ducky. He had just begun to wade into a pond for a swim. The nice, cool water rippled around him. "But Lucky Ducky," called Candy Cow, "the sky is falling. Come with us to tell the king." Lucky Ducky agreed, and the whole group set off towards the king's castle. In our story so far, who were the friends that Chicken Little has met on her way to visit the king? We've met Henny Penny, Candy Cow, Cory Calf, and Lucky Ducky. In our other story, Little Rabbit's Tale, we met some different kinds of friends. Do you remember the types of animals we met in Little Rabbit's Tale? In our story, Little Rabbit's Tale, the friends we met were a turtle, a beaver, and a goose. I'm noticing a lot of similarities and differences between our two stories, Chicken Little and Little Rabbit's Tale. No sooner had they started walking along their path, than sneaky old Foxy Loxy stopped them. "Where are you going on this fine day?" Foxy Loxy asked the friends with his sweetest voice. "The sky is falling," said Lucky Ducky. "We are going to tell the king." "Well, it's a good thing I bumped into you," grinned Foxy Loxy. "The path to the king's castle has flooded. Fortunately, I know a shortcut. Follow me." Sneaky Foxy Loxy did not show the friends a shortcut, though. Instead, he led them straight to his foxhole, where he had planned to eat them. Chicken Little, Henny Penny, Candy Cow, and Lucky Ducky were about to step inside when they heard a loud buzzing sound. It was their friend, Betty Bee. "Be careful, my friends," buzzed Betty Bee. "Foxy Loxy is trying to trick you." And with that, Betty Bee chased Foxy Loxy, followed by a huge swarm of buzzing bee buddies. Foxy Loxy ran and ran until he was too far away to find his way back home. After that day, Chicken Little always strolled with an umbrella over her head. The king gave it to her as a present, just in case an acorn fell from the tree as she walked by. She especially liked to stroll through the forest and visit with Henny Penny, Candy Cow, and Lucky Ducky, who were happy to discover that the sky was not falling, and that they would never have to see Foxy Loxy again. What lesson do you think this story teaches you? When we read our story, Little Rabbit's Tale, we talked about the lesson that can be learned is to always find out the whole situation or truth before going to tell others. In this story, we could say that if maybe something scares you, you can find out what really happened before you scare somebody else. Chicken Little was scared when the acorn hit her on the head, but instead of trying to figure out what hit her on the head, she just ran around and said, "The sky is falling!" In our story, we saw 6 new vocabulary words. These were the words that were highlighted in the bright yellow. Let's look at the definition of these words and look back and see how they were used in our story. The first word we saw was the word meadow. Meadow. A meadow is a field. In our story, the word meadow was used when it says, "She was eating in a beautiful green meadow with her little calf, Cory." The next word we saw was the word calf. Calf. A calf is a young cow or bull. In our story, the word calf was used when it says, "She was eating grass in a beautiful green meadow with her little calf, Cory." The word meadow and calf were used in the same sentence. The next word we saw was the word wade. Wade. The word wade means to walk slowly through water. In our story, the word wade was used when it says, "He had just begun to wade into a pond for a swim." The next word we saw was the word rippled. The word rippled means made very small waves. The word rippled was used in our story when it says, "The nice, cool water rippled around him." The next vocabulary word we saw was the word flooded. The word flooded means covered with water. In our story, the word flooded was used in the sentence, "The path to the king's castle has flooded." And the last vocabulary word we saw was the word swarm. Swarm. The word swarm is a very large group. In our story, the word swarm was used in the sentence, "And with that, Betty B chased Foxy Loxy, followed by a huge swarm of buzzing bee buddies."